Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is Tuesday the 23rd of March, and in this education video where there's no recommendation advice intended whatsoever, we will start with Nvidia that has bounced strongly after the sell-off here that started in February going into March. Took it almost all the way down to the support around 102, then bounced. And we are very close to resistance area just below 125. I think we could push up to that, maybe up to the 200 moving average, the red one here coming here, but then we have the 55 coming down, also giving some adding to the resistance area, and also the 61.8 retracement of this sell-off here is just around 128.67. That will be a bit of a fierce battle, I believe, in this region here, where I think we will see it being pushed back down again. On the overall indices, we have S&P 500 that closed up 1.76%. After we talked about it during the session yesterday, that it opened here above the minor resistance at 57.15. Now back above the 200 moving average. We have some resistance here at 5,783.84. RSI still negative sentiment. Could be rejected at 60 threshold, and if it does, then we will see the index sliding back. If it slides back below 5,700, 5,700, then I think we will see downtrend to resume. So that is key levels to look out for the next few days. A close above 57.84, then there's potential up to 58.60. On the Nasdaq index, Nasdaq also higher yesterday, a bit more than 2%. I think we will get up to the 38.2 retracement and the 200 moving average to just around 20,325. It could spike up to 20,538, where there's a little bit stronger resistance, but there will also be something here around the 200 moving average. And we still need the RSI to get back above 60 threshold to confirm a bullish trend. The Dow Jones index closed above resistance at 42,518. Next one is 42,927, 43,000 really. There is potential up to that, but again here RSI will weigh on it. We have the moving average, the 100 and 200 actually flattening at the moment, so maybe it will fare a little bit better than the other indices. Seng got beaten this morning, a bit more than 2%. And if it takes out 23,198, it could be hit by further selling. And if we're looking at weekly chart, we can see what went on here. Got almost all the way up to the 25,000, but couldn't sustain the rally. And now we have divergence, as you can see here. RSI values declining, market move higher. So we are in an exhaustive trend here. The trend is exhausted mood. We also have a topic and reversal-like pattern here. If we regard this as a bullish pattern, this is a doji, and then as a bearish, and a top reversal. So if it takes out this support here, well, then we are looking at the next support just around the 22,570. The EuroStoxx index, not much to say that we didn't say yesterday. Looks a little bit toppish, and here pre-market, as we can see, it's not really doing much. It really needs to take out the spike up there at 55.29. The DAX index also taking a breather, kind of a double top. Not really a good one, but still a really strong resistance here at 23,475. Support down here at 22,148. Pre-market basically unchanged, as we can see, not really much to say. So wait and see at the moment for direction. We are in a sideways corrective mode. Euro dollar correction is ongoing, and I still believe we will see it pushing down to 107.60, 107 and a quarter, where we have the 200 moving average. The red one here coming, giving some support, and the 38.2 retracement. Then I think we will see a bounce. The cable or sterling dollar also in a correction phase. 128.40 is almost a given. I think we'll also push down to around 128, where we have the 200 moving average, as we can see here, just highlighting it right there. That it will also offer some support. We could spike down to 61.8 retracement at 127.35, but it remains to be seen. So keep an eye on that. And the euro sterling spiked down yesterday to the 50% of this uptrend here. Could bounce. We have the 55 moving average still pushing higher. We are still in a positive sentiment, no divergence. If it starts moving back above 83.90, then I think uptrend will resume. Yen pairs has been on the move, and especially yesterday, and the dollar yen very close to 38.2 retracement at 151.25. Where we have some strong resistance. We have the 200 moving average coming down. We have the 55 also coming down just above it, and give it about a week or so, then I think 55 will cross over, forming a death cross. RSI for now is still below 60 threshold. That would be key for the development here in the next few days. Will RSI close above, or will it be rejected at 60 thresholds, of meaning will it go into a positive sentiment or still stay negative? The euro yen, well, bounced off the 100 moving average and just a few cents above the 38.2 retracement. Currently around the 200 moving average, can't make up its mind, but if we're looking at the RSI, it should push higher towards 165 because we're in positive sentiment. There's no divergence on it. There's no imbalance. So we should see a push higher to 165. But should and would have, could have, is still not something we should rely on. But that's at least what it tells at the moment. If it takes out the lows for the past few days, well, then we're looking at levels below 160. The Aussie yen, it's really, sometimes there's no real pattern. I try to see if there's any. What I can say, if it moves above 95.75 and especially stays up there, and if RSI closes above 60 threshold, well, then I think we will see it slowly establishing a bullish trend. But for now, it is in a little bit of a sideways move where there's no direction. So I will keep my mouth shut further because there's really not much to say. However, if it takes out 93, then we'll test the 92 and lower levels. Sterling yen currently testing the, or this morning tested the 194.85 resistance. We are in a bullish trend, positive sentiment, higher highs, as you can see, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and higher high again. So if it can close above here, then we could see a push up towards 197, 198, possibly higher. But in this region, if it takes out the lows here the past few days, well, then it will slide back. Aussie dollar seems to be forming this ascending triangle-like pattern where you have the ascending lower rising trend line here, lower rising trend line, and maybe a flat upper resistance line. Could also be a declining one, so it's not really it's still hard to say which way we're going. RSI is not giving us much. If it takes out and it closes below 65.50 here, then a downtrend is to resume. But I think we will see it's moving within this range here for the next few days. However, 55 moving average is just flat, more or less. The 100 moving average is declining, so I think it will push it lower. So my favor would be to the downside, really. Dollar Canada, not much to say here. Also forming maybe an ascending triangle-like pattern. It should push higher. If it starts moving above the cloud here again, then I think we'll see a push above 145.50. The Sterling Canada, still in correction phase, down to 183.75, 183.45 in this region here. I think we will see it here next by a few days, and then we will see a bounce. I still think we will see it bounce eventually. Euro Swiss are also a little bit frustrating, really. Positive sentiment, but there's divergence on the RSI. So what I will do, and you can do that too. So what I will do, I'll draw a trend line. If RSI moves back above the 60 threshold and back above the falling trend line, then I think it's a sign of Euro Swiss to resume a bullish trend. As long as we stay above 94.90, we are in that bullish trend. Dollar Swiss resistance at 88.65. I think it will be tested, possibly a move up to 89.24, which is the 38.2 retracement of this downtrend here. Let's just adjust it a little bit. 89.30 really. It was out of place, this one up there. So I think we could see a push up to there, and then we have some resistance where the 55 coming down and the 100 moving average just above it. Still negative sentiment on the RSI. It will be key where RSI ends, will close above 60 threshold and all. The dollar index, I think we could see a push up to the 200 moving average and the 38.2 retracement just around 104.65 in this region here. Excuse me. And then possibly a setback. Moving on to metals and gold. That was not it. Here it is. Gold, I think it seems to be in a correction phase. I think we could see it dipping below 3,000, which it actually did a couple of days ago. The 38.2 retracement there at 29.71 could be tested. And if we add a horizontal line to here, we can see where there's some strong resistance and support area just around 29.55, 54. That's the previous peak here. That will give it a little bit of support. I think we will push down there. It's not unlikely we'll push even lower, but if it takes out the previous peak, which is what I think it will do eventually, but it's not a promise, or there's no promises or certainties here. It will do it. I think we will see higher levels in gold, but the RSI also needs to take out its falling trend line there. The silver dancing around the 32 retracement just below $33. If it takes out the lows there from the 21st, then I think we'll see a push down to 32.12. Copper, we talked about it yesterday. It looks very stretched. Still holding on though. We are in a bullish trend, but there is a risk of a correction down to 492, maybe even 484. But as we can see here also on the weekly, we are in a bullish trend, a fairly strong one. But it looks a little bit stretched, I would say. We can also see here that the RSI, if we added a falling, a trend line there, we can see it's actually declining, meaning weakening our exhaustive mode of the trend. However, if it takes out 518.45, then I think we'll see a push above 525. Correction also ongoing in crude oil here. WTI pushed above the 38.2, and I added two sets of Fibonacci ones. One that goes from this peak here and down, where we had the 38.2 retracement here at 68.45. I think we will push up to its 61.8 retracement at 70.45. I also added this one of the entire downtrend, where we had the 38.2 retracement at 71.15. Could also push up to that level, but then we have, you see, we have the 100 moving average flat here, giving a little bit of an overhead resistance, and the 55 moving average also coming down, adding to that resistance area there. The Brent crude oil pushed above its 50% of this last leg down there. I think we'll see 61.8 retracement at 73.78 being tested, and the 100 moving average, and we also have the 55 coming down here. Still negative sentiment, so keep an eye on what's happening with the RSI. Will it close above 60 threshold or not, and then being rejected, then downtrend could resume. European gas, or Dutch TTF gas, 44 seems to be a key level towards out for. We are in this range here. If it takes out 40 euros to the downside, then downtrend will resume. The US Henry Hub gas just above the 55 moving average, still in this corrective phase here. We could still see it dropping to 374 support. If it does close below that level and below the cloud, then expect lower levels. If it starts to move back above the 4.25, 4.25 here, then uptrend is set to resume. US Treasury yields, here's the 10-year. I draw on this trend line here. I think that would be key to watch out for, but we could also add a support line, or horizontal ones there, okay? If it takes out 4.24 to the downside and the lower rising trend line there, downtrend is in play again towards 4.12, 4.10. Now it seems it's trying to build an uptrend, and if it takes out, and let's just also add that one, we can add that one there. If it takes out the 436, then uptrend towards 445 is in the cards. The 2-year Treasury yield still in this range here between 405 and 385, so not much to say without any clear direction. In the European yields, the 10-year European government yields here, I think it could start bouncing higher here. It didn't get all the way down to the 38.2 retracement. What could also be interesting to see, did it actually hit anything right there if we push it there? Not really much, so I still regard this as being valid. You can see the 50% was just around here where we have this gap area. If it takes out the lows here from last week at 274, then I think we'll see a push down to 265, but for now we're still in a bullish trend. There's no divergence on the RSI indicating likely higher levels. UK 10-year has resumed uptrend if it closes above 476, and then I think we'll see it pushing higher towards previous peaks. Moving on to Bitcoin, building a very short-term uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and I think we could still see it up to 90,000, 91,000. Then I think we will be rejected with the 55 moving average coming down and the RSI possibly also being rejected here at the 60 threshold, meaning still negative sentiment. The Ethereum currently trading just around the 2100, just below the resistance and the falling trend line there. Could be rejected and then slide back towards the 1800 level. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and talk to you again later.